Hey and welcome to the Ray FF 1600 Rookie Series guide on Limebrook Park Classic in iRacing. This track is easy to learn but very hard to master, which is why I would recommend you to spend at least some time in practice sessions. You are constantly driving at the very limit of the car, and even the tiniest mistake can send you into the grass, into the wall or into a spin, so getting some experience in practice sessions will be extremely valuable in your races. You can also practice against my ghost car by downloading all lap files from the community Discord, which is linked in the description down below, and I'm also offering coachings. You can find more information about them in the description as well. Our first stop is on the main straight, because this track offers only one opportunity for overtakes, and that's the first braking zone. You need to stay aware of your surroundings and decide if you want to approach the first braking zone on the inside line or the outside line, and if there's nobody around you, then you want to stick to the quicker outside line. Use the 300 meter board as marker to hit the brakes and turn the car very slightly towards the upcoming apex. In the first stage of the braking zone, you want to go hard on the brakes, shift down into third gear and slightly deviate from the left edge of the track. Once you shift down into third gear, you want to transition to trail braking, decrease the pressure on the brakes and steer the car towards the upcoming inside curb. Once you enter the turn, you want to lean back, coast and wait for the car to decelerate on its own. When it becomes slow enough, which is roughly at the end of the first inside curb, then you want to shift down into second gear and prepare your exit. One little trick I do here is to add some throttle input immediately after shifting down into second gear. It gives you a bit more grip on the rear and makes the car more stable on your way to the exit. Maintain a clean line, attack the inside curb on the exit and slam the throttle down once you put the car on it to accelerate onto the short straight. Our strategy for the next turn is to aim for the tightest line that's possible while maintaining as much of our speed as we can. Position the car around the center right of the track, turn in towards the upcoming apex and prepare to lift. Immediately after you lift, you want to give the brakes a soft touch and guide the car along the inside of the track. Our goal is to exit right on the upcoming inside curb. Slowly accelerate when you're about to exit, and when you hit this curb, then you know that you did a great job. Now you want to accelerate along the left edge of the track to prepare a wide line for the upcoming right-hander. The upcoming turn leads onto a long straight, which is why it's important that you turn in from the very far left edge of the track. Attack the inside curb, and ideally you want to take this turn flat out, but depending on your last exit, the state of the session, the track and your tires, you might need to make some minor adjustments. In that case, you want to lift just enough to make the turn. Never ever touch the brakes around here, because that will completely mess up the upcoming straight for you and you will lose a ton of time. We've reached the high speed section of the track, where we want to maintain as much of our momentum as possible, which means that we want to aim for the widest lines that we can take. Drive onto the outside curb to use as much space as you can and use the upcoming tree on the left side as marker for turning in. Once you turn in, you want to lift, but maintain a soft touch on the throttle, because like in turn 1, it helps you to add some grip to the rear, which keeps the car more stable throughout the entry. There's no recipe for this turn, because again, it changes a lot depending on the state of your tires, the session and the track, so you need to constantly listen to your car and adjust your throttle inputs according to the grip you have, while maintaining a tight line around the inside curb. This bit can lead to some issues, but the secret here is to keep the car straight while you drive over the crest. That way it's impossible to lose the car, so when you are struggling around here, then it's probably because you are still not done with turning when you reach the crest. You want to use the full width of the track again, but don't go too wide on the exit, otherwise it will be tough to avoid the incident point which you get when you cut over the grass. There aren't any great markers. I'm using the trees on the right side of the track and give my brakes a short hard tap to adjust my speed for the upcoming fast-paced right-hander. Lift while you turn in, and again, add some throttle input as you get deeper into the entry to add some stability to your rear and aim for a tight line around the curb. Be aggressive on the throttle, use the whole track to maintain a high speed and don't be afraid to touch the grass. You can dip into it without any consequences. You won't receive an incident point and you won't lose control over the car. Since we're in a high speed section, it's better to touch it when you go wide instead of lifting, because when you lift, then you will lose time all the way down the main straight. Approach the last turn from the left edge of the track, shift up into 4th gear, and one trick I'm utilizing here is to let go from the throttle right at the moment I shift up into 4th. Shifting up while dropping your throttle input to roughly 20% gives you a very stable entry, which allows you to set the car up for a tight line around the last apex. Have fun with the cockpit lap, thanks for your support, I wish you all the best for the next weekend, see you next time!